Hi, this is Nick Dawson, the editor-in-chief of Talkhouse Film, and you're listening to the Talkhouse Film podcast. The fact that this episode of the podcast is making it out into the world is, well, something of a miracle, given the circumstances surrounding its recording. When I was digging around for ideas on someone to talk with Gaspar Noé about his great new film, the pornographic 3D romance Love, regular Talkhouse Film contributor Jim Hemphill suggested Abel Ferrara. Two of contemporary cinema's most controversial, boundary-pushing directors in conversation? Why the hell not? And everything went smoothly, really, until the time of the talk itself. Then it transpired that Abel hadn't been able to watch the viewing link for Love he'd been sent. An impatient Uber driver left without picking up Gaspar, meaning he was now running late. We were recording the conversation on both Skype and a landline, but the Skype sound quality was dreadful, and the phone call got disconnected not once but twice. At one point, there was a power surge in the room, and a bunch of lights went off, replaced by a low, persistent buzzing noise. It was one of those days. But, mercifully, Noé and Ferrara prevailed over technological gremlins and an angry universe, managing to have a highly entertaining conversation despite the fact they couldn't always hear each other. So, settle in now for Gaspar and Abel talking about having their movies banned, censorship, what's sexy in Saudi Arabia, the connections between Love and Ferrara's first film, 9 Lives of a Wet Pussy, porn's rightful place on the big screen, their mutual hero Pier Paolo Pasolini, and much more.
Hey, Abel.
All right, Gaspar, rock out, bro. Get me going.
I was saying I'm happy you didn't see the movie on your computer because it's in 3D and it looks so much better on a big screen.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have the glasses, number one. So
How long are you staying in Italy?
You got to wear those glasses, right? What?
How long are you going to be staying in Italy? You live there?
I'm in Italy. I've been here for like a year and a half, you know what I mean? I just had a baby, dude. I just had a little girl.
Yeah. So, are you fluent with Italian?
You got that? You understand that? I got a new girl and a new daughter.
And you have an Italian passport?
No, not an Italian passport.
I have one,
still
but I
an
don't
American.
speak Italian.
Are you kidding? Well, you know, non parlo italiano, pochissimo, non parlo niente. No, you don't speak Italian. All right.
Hey, you know what?
So, what are you doing in Brooklyn? I'm living. You know, I came to shoot Pasolini, and I'm staying here. I'm here. I'm like married, got a daughter, and I'm working on I'm doing a film about Padre Pio.
About who?
On top of you know who Padre Pio is?
Il Papa. Il Papa Pio.
Yeah, the monk that had. Yeah. The monk. No, he's not the Pope. He was a Capuchin monk that had stigmata during the early part. You know what I'm talking about, right? He's like kind of the patron saint of Italy.
Huh.
Anyway, so we're shooting a documentary now, and we're starting to shoot that. And I'm working on a film with another film with Willem. That's kind of a.
Have you done documentaries already?
Well, the what?
Have you done documentaries already?
Yeah. I did New Rose Hotel. We did Napoli. I did a film about Mulberry Street. So, yeah. Have you done it? Have you tried it?
I did a short film about guys dying of AIDS in Africa, and actually I shot so much footage that I also edited a longer version, and probably I'm going to release it soon.
About guys, what? About guys?
It's called AIDS, and it's
about guys where in Africa?
Just 4 guys who got infected by women and who were dying of AIDS. So I was just filming them, explaining.
Which country? From which country?
Burkina Faso. And that's the only time I've ever been to Black Africa, and actually I really would like to go to shoot another movie there one day. So weird, the relationship.
Right. You know my guy, Jean Savoy, Jean Stéphane.
Yeah.
You saw.
I saw,
you saw.
I saw that movie he did with the young kids.
What's the name of that film? That
Johnny
was
Mad
pretty
Dog.
cool.
Johnny Mad Dog. It's very good.
Yeah, Johnny Mad Dog. That was a cool film. You guys should see that if you listen. Anybody listening to this, Google that up. I don't know where you see film. I don't know if Netflix might be. So, what are you doing in Brooklyn? What's up?
No, I'm just promoting the movie. No, well, as the movie's released here and rated, they brought me to do press and Q&As like you do for every movie you do. Alchemy. I think that the company used to be called Millennium. They changed the name, and now they're buying all these like art movies. They're very cool. And hopefully in America you have this. It's at the Angelica and at the Village East.
All right, cool. When does it open?
No, they're playing.
Today?
They're playing it in that theater that looks like a synagogue. Have you been there? It seems it used to be a synagogue. They rearranged. They put seats inside, but you have the Star of David on the ceiling. It's kind of weird.
No, I don't. So how's New York doing?
Fine.
You enjoy it there?
Fine.
Yeah.
It changed.
Are you going to go around the country? Are you going to go around the country? Or are you just going to stay
It's been it's been released in many countries in Europe. It hasn't been bought for Italy and Spain yet, but it was even released in Ukraine, and it was banned in Russia for being too explicit.
Yeah, well.
No. I would not go to Moscow. It's not a big pain.
It's not one of your places, right? So how's life in Paris?
Yeah. When are you coming back?
To Paris?
Yeah. Any co-production?
Yeah, I got to go to court. I got to go back to Paris to court. Okay, there's like an inquiry on the Strauss-Kahn that Dominique is having that I have to answer to the judge about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard the guy moved.
How do you like that one?
I read that the guy that Strauss-Kahn moved to Morocco now.
Did he? Well, that's where he's from.
That's
well, there's still, but I got to go to court in France over this. So, it's like, that's, I don't know what, I don't know what that means. I don't know.
You know what? They're there because in my movie, at a point you see a dick, of course, because it's a sexual movie. And then I was saying, but I don't understand why in American movies you never see the penis of the actor. It's just a part of the body. Like, you should see it as you can watch the hands, etc. And say, oh, there are a few movies in which you can see the penis of the actor. So just tell me some names. And the two persons around me just said Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah, well, I mean, go see 9 Lives. I mean, I made it. It's kind of, I mean, I don't know, man. It's a cultural deal. I mean, they have all these sexy movies, but you want to see, the fucking real deal. Do you ever read Norman Mailer's review of Last Tango in Paris?
Yeah. Yeah, but
no. So we got down to it, and he's saying, it's all this sexuality, but where's the fucking guy's dick, man? You want to see this fucking guy jamming a bitch. You don't want to see the fucking, like they skirt the issue to do it. You want to see fucking sex, let it rock. I'm with you. But this is a big taboo, right? I mean,
what's the problem?
And how was your film? And your film,
how did you react?
How they relating to it? And what's the press reaction?
The press is very good, very bad, but they're always in every single article, good or bad, they're talking about the visible winnies and say, what's the issue? Like it's a. They don't talk about that. They never. When you see a war movie, they don't talk about the hands of the actors. That you make a movie about love, they should do. The press should not even focus on that detail.
Yeah, well, that's that's forbidden fruit, bro. That's the that's the other side of it. But that's But I mean, they're talking about it because you can't see it in a movie theater, right? There's no movie theaters showing porno films anymore. I mean, all the porno is online, right?
Yeah, I don't even. I haven't checked for a while. I used to like it.
I used to like those scenes
on a big screen.
Gaspar. Yeah, when I started making films, the top 10 of the top 50 films were all porno films.
Yeah.
Everybody in New York was all
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the whole, humongous industry. I mean, they made Deep Throat. They made Debbie Does Dallas. Okay, Deep Throat, they made it for what? I don't know, $50,000. They made $70 million. Okay. And then the guys that made my first films, Driller Killer and Miss 45, they made a film called Debbie Does Dallas. Okay. And they made it for $35,000. And the film made $35 million.
Yeah.
Okay, but it made $35 million where they owned half the theaters it played in, and like they got all like cash back. And then, so it was a whole industry that was all in the theaters. And it wasn't in the, there was no video back then.
But it was the same in France when porn started being released in big theaters. It was all over the city. There were like the Champs-Élysées was mostly movie theaters playing porn movies, and then they added all these ratings and censoring laws that killed the mood. But,
it's not that.
By the way, I saw once a French guy had a copy of the first movie you made, and I really enjoyed it, especially that you played in the movie yourself, the father of the two daughters.
Yeah. That's me rock and rolling the 9 lives of What Pussycat.
Was it ever released on DVD or not? Because I just had a VHS. It was a copy of a VHS of another VHS, but was it ever released on DVD or something like that? No.
Well, you know what happens with a film like that, bro? There'd be a 35 millimeter print, right?
Yeah.
And they send the print out to this kind of like the track of porn. It started in New York, but then it would go to Philadelphia, and then it would go to Baltimore, and then it would go to Raleigh, North Carolina, and then it would go to some drive-in somewhere. And every time the movie played in these places, the projectionist would like take the best scene of the film and just clip it out of the movie and keep it.
So at the end, the movie's 20 minutes long.
They can send the movie back. Yeah, okay. So by the time the film got back to New York, naturally, they didn't take out shitty scenes. They took out the best scenes. So I don't even know if there is a version of that film that, it wasn't like we're keeping track of that in the egg, but, but it was one of these deals. I got roped into doing that because, not roped into it. We were doing the film and then we hired the actor, right? The girls were all kind of girlfriends of ours. We didn't use like professional actresses, right? They were like go-go dancers. We were like.
Wait a second, because the sound got disconnected. I did not get the last 2 sentences.
Ugh, well, at this point, we wearily gave up on the landline, turned on video Skype so Gaspar and Abel could now see as well as kind of hear each other, and prayed there would be no further obstacles.
All right. Gaspar!
Hey!
There you are, you homeboy.
Hey,
You nigga, what's going on, dog? What's going on, my man? Can you see me?
I see your... now I see you moving, yeah, I see you, yeah. It's all blurry, but I see you.
All right.
It looks much better.
Good. So, what are we talking about?
So, hey, we were talking about your movie and how it was short in every city, and at the end, maybe your first feature turned into a short.
Yeah, exactly. So you can imagine these projectionists cutting out the best piece of every film and putting it on a reel. I would love to see that movie. You know what I mean? Like the movie that is the best scene from every porno film that comes through Raleigh, North Carolina. But I'm sure there's those scenes. But the odd thing about me being in it was we were we used basically our girlfriends. They were kind of go-go dancers. They weren't X-rated chicks. And then we hired like a professional dude, right? And we had to pay him all the money in the budget. Like these guys got like $300 a day. And the guy came and he couldn't get it up. Can you believe this? Like we're on a no-budget film. Yeah, we're on a no-budget film. We're giving a guy $300 to fuck our girlfriends, and the guy couldn't even get it up. So
you had to play the part. You were the only who could play the part for free.
Dig this. There was me, the writer, the cameraman, and everybody, and we like kind of drew straws. Like one of us 5, whoever lost, and I lost. So that was the beginning of Jimmy Lane.
The truth is that was my favorite scene of the movie, but you looked too young to be their father.
That's because you knew me, but anyway. But I like it anyway. It's great. But yeah, you know what I mean. You're gonna shoot the, I don't know how you do it without doing it. Because these are all false censorship, dude. You know what I mean? In other words, okay, you can't shoot a guy's dick, you can't shoot them fucking, you can't shoot a hard on, you start putting this in there. We're working from like telling Van Gogh we can't use blue, green, and yellow. You dig what I mean? Because like in the beginning, when we would shoot a film like that, it's balls to wall, bro. It's anything goes. Even something like The Driller Killer, And then all of a sudden, there's like the MPAA rating, and I'm being told I can't do this, and I know just how much blood I could show and how much I can't. But then I'm realizing I'm being censored before my imagination is being censored. You dig? So this film you're making is super important. You got to get, because what happens with this kind of control, this mind game, this thing, it comes back to Welcome to New York with the edits on that. It's like, dude, you cannot edit me. You cannot touch that fucking film because I can't edit myself. Otherwise, I'm already in a self-censorship mode. It's up to you, dude. That's your gig, Gaspar, to dream for everybody, to imagine all this shit, to come up. If you're already thinking, oh, this is rated here, this is what I can show in China, this again. It was funny because with these X movies, they used to say to me, even a pornographic film, they say, in England, you can show all the, you can be funny, and it should be funny, but you can't have violence. You can't have the sex with the violence. But in Japan, they love the sex and the violence.
Yeah, they like the violence more than anything else.
They don't like shit being funny. They don't want this shit being funny. So don't be funny. But I said, dude, I'm going to be funny over in London, but I can't be funny in Tokyo. We shoot the violence, come on. But this is the constant battle, dude. I mean, you got to find your personal freedom where it's not also anything. So,
what do you think is sexy in Saudi Arabia? What's a sexy movie there?
I have no idea. I've never been there. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure there's a subgenre.
They don't even have movies there, so that's
what? I am proud. I had never had a movie banned. And my last movie that is very sweet, it was banned in Russia. I wish it had been banned in a more daring country, but I kind of was proud that the Minister of Culture said, no, this is never going to be released here. Did you get banned? Did you get banned for movies?
Banned all over the place. Yeah. All the time.
It sounds good. Maybe it's bad for the guys who put the money, but it sounds good.
Because back in the day, bro, like the thing when we did the film about Pasolini, these guys were not only, Pasolini, Salo has never even now been allowed to be shown. You dig? Salo, they wanted to burn a negative, which back then meant they were looking to destroy the film. Because you burn a negative back in 1975, that motherfucker is gone for good. With Last Tango in Paris, they wanted to put fucking, Brando in jail. If Brando came to Italy, he would have went to jail, okay? Never mind Bertolucci going. So, never mind. Imagine making a film where your actor is going to go to jail. But now I got to go to Paris on November 10th and go to fucking court and have an inquiry with the judge about Welcome to New York.
Seriously?
See this? Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously?
Fucking Lily. That's what I'm telling you before. Yeah, absolutely. November 10th. And it's not a cool case yet. It's not, so I got to go by myself. No, none of our buddies, none of anybody else involved, and go with a lawyer that I have and go in front of a judge. And I don't know what the fuck the guy's going to ask me.
Are you forced? Hey, are you forced to go?
I'm getting go. I'm not forced to go. If I feel like going back to Paris, I got the fucking police sending me fucking emails and calling my lawyer, and a lawyer's telling me I really recommend you go and show up. Hey, I want to fucking. It's an inquiry. What are you gonna do? It's just sleazy. I don't want to think about his life. But I'm making movies, dude. I don't get the point. I'm a filmmaker. I'm not. That film's not a documentary. And I don't give a fuck about the guy other than, hey, I could relate to the newspapers, right? I could relate to the TV. What do I got to do? Make films about Donald Duck. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Again, trying to censor me, trying to put everybody in the fucking box, put your imagination in the box. Well, I cannot think about, I wake up in New York, the front page of the news is about this event. I'm supposed to what? Eradicate that from my mind? When I think of a movie to make, Yeah.
Hey, our idol Pasolini, he was going to court almost every year. for one
He was
reason
in
or
court
for
on-
another.
Yeah,
La Ricotta, that short film La Ricotta with Orson Welles went to court and over, but for insulting the church and the cross and.
The 40th anniversary is tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day he was killed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they're having all these crazy things here on Monday. I get the second. I always forget the day. He was killed on All Souls Day. Do you know that?
On what?
All Souls Day is like Halloween. It's like the feast of that. And there's one crazy guy who was trying to tell me that this was planned, that he was going to have himself killed. He wanted to do it when All Souls Day, this, the holiday of death, of the spirit, of the fucking ghost, fell on a Sunday, right? That this was totally planned by Pierre Palo. I mean, this is just coming from one crazy friend of his. And he waited till, he waited 5 years. He was going to do 5 years before when Sunday fell on All Souls Day. And then he came. It's crazy, man.
There was an interview of the guy who was accused of killing him in that French magazine called Sophie, and the interview of this guy was really creepy.
I met him. We interviewed him too. I interviewed him too. Pelosi.
Huh.
We met him. I met him when we talked to the movie. We had a crazy interview with him too. We went to this cafe in the middle of nowhere, right? Listen to this. So my guy's here going, let's not meet him. He's a gangster. But he's like a little fucking career criminal. He's been in jail for 30 years, not just for Pasolini, for a bunch of shit, right? So we go to the cafe we're supposed to meet him, and he's out in an orange jumpsuit, right? Because when he gets paroled from jail, they give him a job like cleaning the side of the highway, right? So now I know what this guy looks like. He's like, like the way I know what Mickey Mouse looks like, because I've seen all the videos, all the tapes, all the pictures, we research. And there he is standing outside waving to me like, hey, wow, we're going to meet, And we sit and, we start talking. It was good. So we go into a cafe, right? No one's there, like nobody's even behind the bar. So the place is open. It's like a real sketchy kind of joint. And, he goes, you want coffee? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, coffee. He goes in the back. He makes the coffee. We're going to get water. We go next door to get water from another place. Anyway, so, he's told the story so many fucking times. I don't think the guy himself even remembers. It's become such a fantasy for him. And he's told it so many times. I wasn't even really interested. I was more interested.
And also,
good.
Also, all memories are rewritten. You recreate your memories in order to feel better. So they say that all these like traumas from your childhood are just reinvented to justify the problems of the present time. So memories, you rewrite them and you believe that they were real.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, the guy's a hustler, so what's real and what's not real doesn't matter. Plus, he's getting money every time he comes up with a different story. So anyway,
adding details.
So I offered him like money. I didn't want to ask him about the murder, right? I'm asking him like, well, what cigarettes did you guys smoke? He claimed actually he knew Pasolini for a month. His story was that everybody knew Davoli was not with him anymore. Because they were all street guys kind of, and they were kind of like, seeing if they were just hustling the guy. He was a rich guy who they were fucking hustling. And he met the guy at Tiburtina train station a month before, and he was seeing the guy for a month. But I also met a guy who was a professor at a university who had been seeing this Pelosi all the time, picking him up, Because they used to have this place by the train station in Rome.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay. So right out front. Okay, and naturally, me imagining it is some sleazy, junky place. But it wasn't. They said, no, this is the only place that gay cats could come. It was very festive, very wonderful. All the intellectuals would come. The police wouldn't bother anybody. It was the one place the gay guys could go, And it was like a real totally the opposite of what I filmed. It was like a cool joint. And everybody would come, and it was, because it was 1975, it was very uptight for them. Then they would but then later at night, this is 75, like Rome is like really an open city, right? Puerto Città. They would take the kids in the Coliseum. They would break into the Coliseum, right? And all these rich guys, the guys, Pasolini went every night, and they would sit up where the fucking senator sat, and in the middle, the kids would walk around naked in the middle of the Coliseum, in the middle of the night. Can you imagine this? We should have shot that, but we didn't get that. That was another one of those stories. Like, are you kidding? Yeah. No.
There are some stories about Pasolini when he came to New York that are quite funny. That he was all the time in the Bronx, hanging out with black guys.
Yeah, when he came, they had a big thing for him at the Museum of Modern Art. Okay, they did this about art, with our reputations and not showing up, coming late or whatever. Had this big fucking deal. He goes as the guest of honor at the Museum of Modern Art, 1969. He stays for 10 fucking minutes. Blows these people totally fucking off. All these big VIPs from Italy, this and that. Just blows them the fuck off. Goes to fucking Harlem.
It was Harlem. It was
I knew the guy who was supposed to be taking care of him. The dude was like 21 years old at the time. He says the guy disappeared for like 2 days. He ended up with a bunch of Black Panthers. and you can imagine this skinny little Italian guy couldn't speak a word of fucking English. Is up in Harlem in 1968. Is like looking to get fucking laid. You know what I mean? What is it? And then Zeffirelli told me his story. He went to India with him, right? So Zeffirelli was saying it was the worst trip, man. Like the planes were late, this is late, the train wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. So it takes 2 days of travel. They're traveling for 36 hours, 40 hours. He says, but when we got there at 2 o'clock in the morning to the most beautiful hotel I ever saw in my life. So Zeffirelli naturally goes and has a bath and gets in the bath. He says, Pasolini, he just put his bags down and took off into the fucking night. He's somewhere in the middle of India, never been there in his freaking life. He said, the dude didn't come back for like 2 days. He says, we were fucking worried. We didn't even know where to fucking look for him. And he said he came back and says, man, I had the time of my fucking life. The guy never gave it up. That was his deal. He was an adventurer. Every night, 10 o'clock, bang, got in his car and off to the fucking races. And it wasn't anything underhanded, sleazy, anything. That was his life. And everybody knew it. Everybody was cool with it. And that's the way it went, man. But guys, I got to go. So Gaspar, tell me something. Hey, everybody go see Gaspar's, man. You got to go to the fucking theater. They're selling Trojans and fucking shit at the fucking cafe there,
Yeah,
what kind of people are coming to this movie? Are they wearing raincoats? Are they coming to jerk off or what?
No, all kind of guys, but the girls like it better.
All right, I don't want to...
So have a nice day and see you soon in Paris.
This is Nick Dawson from Talkhouse Film, and you've been listening to Abel Ferrara and Gaspar Noé on the Talkhouse Film podcast. And, as Abel says, go see Love, in 3D, on the big screen. It's quite an experience. This episode was engineered and edited by Elliot Einhorn. For more filmmakers talking film and TV, visit thetalkhouse.com/film. Subscribe to Talkhouse Film and Talkhouse Music podcasts on iTunes, where you can find all our previous episodes. And while you're there, please rate and review if you can.
Guys, let me just look at your fucking sorry asses for one second.